Hey guys, what's going on? I got a 2000 Jimmy 4-wheel drive, 6-cylinder, and I had a problem. My transfer case was leaking. I could not find where it was leaking from. After a lot of checking and sniffing and checking and sniffing, this bolt here, which goes just about right at the bottom of the transfer case, it has the plate that covers it, which I can't see right now. But once I pulled that apart, I could see a little funny looking corrosion right up in here. And after checking a little more, it's hard to do with one hand. I was actually able to do this. I found a hole. Don't make a liar out of me. And I can actually stick the pick all the way up in there. Now, is that neat or what? That's what happens when you mix ferrous and non-ferrous metals together. It creates corrosion and just chows away the weaker element, which would be the aluminum transfer case. As you can see, you got steel bolt, aluminum case, and that's what happens. So I got me some quicksteel. That goo stuff, you hack a chunk off of it, knead it together, plaster it up there, and it claims it'll harden up in it'll harden in like an hour. But that stuff, it's a few bucks a can. It's not really that much. That's what it looks like in the tube. Pop the quick action cap off. Whip your tube out. And what I'm going to do is just cut up a little chunk about a thumb width. And I'm going to smear it all up in there, push it as much as I can into that hole and maybe around it a little bit. But once you cut the stuff and open it up, you'll see it's two different colors. And you just knead it together, mix it up together. It'll actually start getting warm like Bondo does when it's activated. And once it starts getting warm, get your crap plastered where it's supposed to be. And I believe it hardens up in a really quick time. I got to read the instructions here, but it does say within 2 to 4 minutes, which is quite fast. So I'm going to stop and I'll get right back to you after I do that. Okay, I'm back. And this is what the crap looks like. You can see it's got a different shade in the middle. It's hard to zoom in with this phone, but it's hard to see. But it is a lot darker on the inside. I'm going to hack off about that much of a chunk, knead it together and push it up in there, and then I'll get back to you when I do that. Okay, I put the stuff on there. It looks pretty smooth. Pushed it up the hole as much as I could. And what I'm going to do now is put the bolt in that goes there to make sure it still goes in. Because you don't want that crap to harden up like steel and not be able to get your bolt back in. So it threads in good. So that's good to go. And the biggest thing I forgot to tell you to begin with is clean it with some brake clean. You got to make sure that crap surface is really clean. But we'll give it a little bit of time, let it harden up, and go from there. Okay, I'm back again. I'm still waiting for it to harden up, but this stuff I've never used it before, so I hope it works good. And it'll tell you once you get your chunk off of it, put it back in a tube. That way no air gets to it and make it dry out. But on the instructions, it'll tell you 2 to 4 minutes, and it will begin to harden. So you got that much time to work with it. And once it's applied, after an hour of drying time, you can actually tap it, drill it, sand it, paint it, do whatever. This was a leftover piece that I always save a little chunk to see how it's doing. And this is like a piece of steel right now. It's unbelievable. It is hard as a rock. So we'll see what happens. I'll get it together and I'll get back and we'll test her. I've been testing the actual finished surface part, and I can actually still get a fingernail. And when you can still get a fingernail and leave a mark, wow, this phone just won't focus. If it leaves a mark, it's not hardened yet. But then again, it's only 48 degrees in my shop here. So I'm going to let this dry overnight. Make sure it's hard enough. Or I'm guessing you can have a heat gun and apply some heat to it. and it'll harden up better. But you got to figure this transfer case is probably about 35 degrees, and it's cold, and it slowed down the cure time of that business that I used on it. So I'm gonna wait till tomorrow morning, and when that happens, I'll get back to you and we'll show you how to fill it. Of course, there's the fill hole up there, and the transfer case. Of course, my phone shut off before I was done talking, but you can see the fill hole up here, and I got all that business to go around, all kinds of business to fit up in there. I hope you can see it better like this. But somehow, you gotta fill that. Getting around the cross member, gas tank, all that shit's all up on the top there, the tail shaft. And you gotta get the $12 quart of fluid into the transmission without wasting it all. So, that'll be another fun project. But we're gonna do that tomorrow. Seeing that it's 1:30 in the morning already, it's time to take a nap. See ya.